You knew. You cannot play an ostrich, Your Excellency, respectfully. Ultimately pretend they say a near man na koso within that 8 years nina where who want to be. And then all of a sudden you want to do what? You want to do what? Gag people in this country? Because
alright, I was have one mission baby. Aha, I Ghana TV. Your best subscribe to the channel. I'm from my drink share bra. I will comment section. Yamishra, you know. I was say Becca some few months ago, President John Dramani Mahama Eba Bontimbe catchere Ghana for say Niamana SCC Niama the we are in color and I say politicians Eddie Kasa was social media and no Eddie Papa inti ono President John Dramani Mahama nini abaino omu be introduce some law bia and I say law bia ebe regulate speech e wo krom ha ebusia eno na ye wo ho within some few days na some judge akochro krata tin ababontia ase enya seketwa eno na nkofo bebre raising concern say honorable Sam George, you have said a lot of things. You benefited. Government we now system. You people benefited from this same speech. Now, we see today you are regulating, and I said, we criminalizing our same speech now, and the mobile power. And we see, and a lot of people besides the same question because Mbekaya, time now Sam George called veteran our already minister. You can't beside the say in some now all can't nanado dan kwakufado huno. Ankabeya on chain sign or see baby or no ni parent are training the say obetumi akasa obetumi akanadwe na ene wo to me ka insem bia obebia e kire the former president Nana Danko Akufo-Addo ene abuba abem within 10 months no e jana eba mutumi ano ba Nana Danko Akufo-Addo was able to endure nonsense na why Nana Danko Akufo-Addo was able to accept, to endure nonsense nyama tanta nyama fu na mo kan fa ne ho okunyato a black like this and to me ebegina social media akachre Ghana for say and Nanado afa plane say and the plane number ato ja baby and Nanado call hotel or call that the information be bia wo the babonti but and then mumu say you people don't want to taste the same way, the same soup na mudiama the NPP when they were in government. I was young and mammy said mumma and Conan got said here amafo Ghana for chuchu eka efa the same way you know ba you better so na be shrine
and this phone kwani guasie dinatem did Akufo-Addo atem. Then comes in Sam George, the minister who today wants to. What does he want to do?
Amendment to the parent bill, which was passed.
The minister who wants to censor speech in this country. That is what he wants to do. Sam George. Okotna Parliament during his vetting. Nane mame ne papa tinechi. And ye can say Sam George. Oka sebia oka ye no. Na emfa kwemu. Oka fa omampanyi ho. Oka fa omampanyi abedi akire ho. Oka ya Sam George kan. Also one patch no ne mame ne papa ntete ya omode ma no o ka na adwen. Okay. That is what Sam George said. Today you Sam George want to formulate a law to censor people in this country. The very thing a mumu benefit yet to come into power. Yewura Mahama benefit here and Mahama, President Mahama, wherever you are sitting, respectfully, with all due respect, with all the humility I can muster, you can't play an ostrich in this game. Mr. Mahama, Your Excellency, you benefited from insults. You benefited from dirty politics. You were aware. In fact, Sami Jenfi 360 platform now. Oh yeah, you know. Mr. President, you went to that platform too. So you knew what the platform stood for. You knew the people who went on that platform. You knew the things they said on that platform. And the characters involved. You were okay with it because it brought you power. In fact, it is rumored. Say, people within your circle, the funding kophobia no moti abruchiri. Say, omonya the kind of dirty politics they did in this country. Yemu be your personal lives were affected. Yemu be your dear to hold your life. Ya ridicule yen dear and dear nim me Kevin Taylor de me to internet so accusing me say me ma sending kofu abanifie see me ye me ku one ne yere ne ma. These were all the politics you did and benefited from. Today you say what? And the President Mahama, what who say, yeah. And near mana who benefited from the one who say, yeah. And I can say authoritatively, say President Mahama, you benefited. You knew you cannot play an ostrich, Your Excellency, respectfully. Untimin pretend they say, and near man na koso within that 8 years, nina where who want to be. And then all of a sudden you want to do what? You want to do what? Gag people in this country? Because now it hurts? Now you have blood in your veins? Obitimit now radio so NDC ni say Ekufuadu plane quotation wo. So and so President Mahama want it. But the unfortunate comment will be fire yura abranti anansi nyame mfa ne krensi omunya accident, airplane accident. Yes. President Mahama tie no so at the meet the press no or reference here say, I mean, how can anybody say that a plane a helicopter has gotten into an accident? I mean, how can anybody say it is okay? Who can say President Mahama can say? I know the President Mahama tie. But one say NDC stations can say a Kufuadu plane and Koshi Honwomu. One say the foreign minister, President Mahama and say the foreign minister can say Kufuadu plane and we am not engine back kukra say okay on fanam we want it. President Mahama and so today President Mahama has blood in his veins. I like President Mahama so much. I have so much respect for him because for me, I think generally he's a fine gentleman. But President Mahama, sa ketasi mumuaswo politics na woyeno. Sa ye kika ye nim kire nyame sompa politics na woyeno. Yehu. Inti nadie moja wo mu veins mu. Na hwe lo awodeba. You know, last time Sami Jenfi betena ha, and now be sometimes ye mu be a kasa munti o. Sami Jenfi betena ha no can say gold board at the police. They are bringing powers to some officers at gold board, and they will give them powers like police. Okay, why Hana Sami Jenfi be can say
so omo launches
yes
task force.
Yes. Na Ghana police mutia muntie ni ye. Ghana police mutia muntie ni mutumi na ye chepu no awen kakran no Sami Jenfi afabi enti ne Sami Jenfi fa ngofo opia ayi gold board ahwan no befa onya NDC for boys enti no ye gitumi ni bi Sam George nso sore ya o se den ye ma ono so police powers police for mon sorry o Ghana police mon sorry mutumi na ye gine kakran free mun sem no. It's not a laughable matter. Oh God. It's not a laughable matter because why? Obi. So Obi committee offense. What stops the Ministry of Communication from calling Ghana Police CID say go and investigate? Say Obi Esmogi go down. What stops Sami Jenfi from calling CID say go and investigate? Why must Sami Jenfi have his own police? Why must Sam George have his own police? Enti yebasa sorry biono ministry ben as say almost be have one police. So under Mahama no, every ministry be sorry no power, no atini police. And yes,
they are in laws of parliament approve.
Law na make sure say, bibia ni ho aye ni hu kwan wo wiasim. Bibia ni ho. But ade no mo ye it's a dangerous precedent. It is say Ministry of Communication be on one police. And Ministry of Trade be on one police. Say Ministry of Lands under Sami Jenfi on one police. we are Minister of Agriculture and so what become of the Ghana Police Service? What becomes of the IGP? Read the baby, how can any BOB? Read it again.
A year on the powers of the police.
The powers of the police. Read it again. What becomes of the IGP? Tata yo sorry. Near you to me everyone. I'm sorry. So won't ya make catch sorry. Mammy fe don't call. Sorry. We see ID to me near everyone. So won't ya make catch
into section 20B inserted. And the principal enactment is amended by the insertion of section 20 of which is powers of police 20B1. The Director General and Deputy Director General and other authorized officers, that's officers of the National Cyber Security Authority, shall exercise the powers of a police officer, including the powers of arrest, search, and seizure, and have the same rights, protections, immunities conferred on a police officer in the Criminal and Other Offences Act, the Police Service Act, and any other law related to a police officer in the performance of their functions under this act.
Do you know how dangerous this is? So what it means, and they say, and there's Sam George appointed Obi Deputy Director General. Sam George are appointed more or less an IGP. That's basically what's happening here. Say Sam George, because who can come rana to me, minister will do this, minister will do this, minister will do this. Sam George and Nadia will walk or share them. And what I know what my mouth. And I will appoint powers to yourself. Who and someone will catch there and call for catch there by Umiasa the document, a useless document. And now who Sam George? What I know who a Maduro, Venezuela Maduro. Fidel Castro and I will shut them and I will be appointed IGP or Ghana. That is the powers you, Sam George, you want for yourself. That is how dangerous it is. Now, me say, dear, when they say social media for Mrantia Munya Musika Kakra, mun sorry. Now, dear John Mahama, catcher money say. Some sorry na mo yamu social media blogging, Nasika Kakra bem. Now, ko ubo hum puso ko kan bibi tia President Mahama. Bo hum puso ko kan bibi chire Sam George. Anasa okuje to black anasa Sami Jemfia. Enye se police na beba ho abechu keke o bank account to cry be confiscate. E woni nyina wo mranim. The other beto aduane adi cry be sa gie free wanum. President Mahama, where did you get this dictatorial tendencies from? Mr. Mahama, this is not like you.
Okay.
Where did you get this dictatorial tendencies from? To the extent say mo the police be gina Ghana for consul so mo kire o madua. Now me the tape will be by Fuseni wi amomo anya san so amobeba amomo. Sam George kasa wo na munti asam wo kan wa say tama na ye sa cyber security law no
2020 dey.
I was so who here your institutions bebre, your ministers bebre. They are on different boards and different things. We don't need it. Then he made an emphatic statement. I say if you want to fight cybercrime, it is not the government that fights cybercrime. The private entities, the private companies that fight cybercrime. Sam George, Momo, Mr. Dominic, Momo Ghana frontier Sam George as some okay. So we don't need any new law. We don't need any new bureaucracy. Now you better fight cybercrime and now bind the fight cybercrime. Now private entities can innovate and fight cybercrime. Lastly, Sam George, catch there say. So no, President Mahama in the first budget. Now when you see CST and free more, he would deal with President Mahama. But when Madia was hypocritically. And in Guasia dia was
funding for the authority.
Funding for the authority. He no confess can free.
12% from CST ECA funds.
Sa CST now we see John Mahama ba when you free budget mu a won ne be nyam so no and sa CST now they be funded we Autotorian Chama Mao Maduro Fidel Castro law now person we dey ba no sa CST now person we dey be funded masa ye dopo mumpe nyansa na munko yi sa mra hunu no emfrim, because it will not fly in this country. Na se munim na mo de sa mo rubber stamp parliament no ko rubber stamp a sa law no mo be ko na mo come.
The justification of fighting cybercrime is flawed. You already have the infrastructure today that is fighting cybercrime. You have a national cybersecurity advisor at the ministry. There's a national cybersecurity center. There's a joint interministerial working group on fighting on cybercrime that has the Minister for National Security, has the Minister for Communications, has the Minister for Justice and Attorney General, has the Minister for Interior. There are about 7 ministers on it. And the structures exist. If you are setting up an authority, that is just a bureaucracy. The bureaucracy is going to be responsible for policy, regulation, and frameworks. That authority is not going to be responsible for the fight against cybercrime. The fight against cybercrime across the world has never been done by governments. It is always done by private sector agencies. What you will see is that government is going to say that, okay, for all